Greetings, 'tis I, Frina Reinventor, half-elven YouTuber. I come to you now with not a reaction to Critical Role, but a general discussion. Though maybe not general, it's specifically on who will survive to continue playing in Campaign 3 Saga of the Bells Hells. For in the last episode we had Blood and Dust, the 33rd episode. Both of Ashley Johnson's character, Fern Calloway, and Liam O'Brien's character, Orm of the Airshari, were felled and succumbed to the savage attacks of Otahan. Well, I may branch off into other topics. It will be mainly about whether or not they survive or not. Now, also down, but not quite dead yet, is Laudna. Now, first, a background, things to note. According to Sam, F.C.G only has one third-level spell slot left, which means he can cast Revivify once before having to take a long rest. And Revivify only works on a target who has died within the last minute. I think they're both still in that time, but as only one can say, but he can only revive one of them. Now, about Lana, after surviving one attack, she was then felled by a second, and then was hit by a third while at 0, failing 2 death saves. So all she needs now is one more failed death save, and she's out. But I'm dealt for good. Okay. Now, she could still make her death saves, like get another miraculous 20, which they've been more prone to. Stuff. It's not gonna save it. But or someone could maybe have some healing left, like a small potion or something. Get her back up. So this now assuming that in Imogen's Red Storm Psychic Explosion, which was marked the end of the episode. Hold. We don't know what happened. Some people saying they got teleported to Ruidus, so it may just be a psychic storm, some sort of psychic storm. We don't know if that took out anyone else, like finished off Lana and stuff, or brought anyone else down to 0. Like if it actually damaged any of them or not. I will say, assuming none of them else got hurt by it, well, even if Lana fails, I feel like she's still safe because her patron, Delilah Briarwood, still has a purpose for her and will probably just revive her. Oh, before we go on, I just want to note the 2 things. I'm not sure if it's really necessary for this video because it's just a discussion, but I do not own nor am I associated with Critical Role, its YouTube or Twitch channels, or any of its other online presence. I am just a fan sharing with other fans. I should also just like to, as an interesting, this is the second time I attempted this video. I ran my computer shut down due to getting into very low levels of power, and I cannot find a setting to alter and lower the threshold for which it requires that per time. Now, some people have pointed out that Fern that the spell Revivify is also available to druids specifically of the Circle of Wildfire, which Fern is. So if they get her up fast enough, they've been saying she could revive Orm herself. But now he went down first. He was killed first, so he'll have a lot less time to do this. Thankfully, it's only it works in a single action, so at most 6 seconds. So they just need just a little over 12 seconds to get things done. Time wise. Now, and since this is a specifically gained by by her subclass, Fern always has Revivify prepared. Something which I didn't occur to me the first time I was making this deal, honestly. Yeah, she can always have this available. Now, question is once again occurred to me. I heard someone, and I think it was Fern, say they were out of spell slots, but I'm not sure it was her or not. Some people said they didn't matter. I said she still should have a at least one third level spell slot left. It may have been Imogen stuff or stuff. I know it's not F.C.G because he specifically has at least one third level spell left, but she could potentially revive both. It all depends on whether or not one of the spell slots she has is a third level. Let's see. And that Ohan doesn't. Oh, this also depends a great level on whether or not Ohan will interfere or not. Now that's a big factor. Like she's well, not, and even if they get back up, she could still decide to go try to finish them off. At this point, she's clearly was more interested in getting Imogen to awaken her true power, or whatever, release the storm. It doesn't give a damn about Treshy. So stuff. Now, but should something go wrong and they have to like say she doesn't actually have a third spell slot left, then a decision will have to be made. Who gets to continue their adventure, and who's will have this episode as their last. These are both beloved characters. I will now here some. I've been on several videos out there. Of other people. I've posted comments trying to get polls for saying who they would choose. Not many people have answered, so very few, in fact. So I'm choosing to believe it's just because it's too hard a decision for them. But here are some of the factors that I think would be considered. As far all of the people Fern knows would like closely, with the exception of Bertrand Bell, who they all know, and quite frankly, he was not around long enough for her to get close to. She got more emotional when Dorian had to just depart for some time than when they lost Bertrand Bell. When Bertrand was actually killed and making quips about jazz and stuff. So all this stuff. And she has parents who specifically asked that they look after her and stuff. Plus a hag. So the hag Morgan, who apparently is like a greater hag or something. I'm not sure the exact uh, thing. Let's. Orem is also connected heavily with the Erishari, and through them, I guess so and stuff. But the two people closest to him in there were apparently, I guess, his father and his husband. Hmm. And let me recheck. I really wish Rangers had Revivify. That could, you'll understand it coming. Now, but he has actually people he really cares about on the other side waiting for him. So that's a point for Fern to be revived. On the other hand, either one of the deaths could potentially he close some doors, sever ties with certain groups. Like in Fern's case, it'd be her parents and Morgan the Hag, her surrogate grandmother, as I think the correct terminology would be. Let's see. Orem could cut off their connection with the Airshari Keyleth, and through her, the rest of Vox Machina. And it's Vox Machina might be particularly important. While it'd be nice to get them recruit and stuff, and actually have them fight, Matt will never allow it. These were last left off level 20 characters. One of them could probably go one on one with Odahan, even with Legendary. They'd probably win. Though some of them may be having some penalties due to age, specifically Grog and Percival, who Percival be in his 50s now, maybe not quite an old coot, but he's starting to feel the wear and tear of the time. Not sure what the lifespan of Goliaths are, but anyway, yeah. But the real thing importance of keeping a connection with Vox Machina is that they possess an item that could be critical to dealing with Fern and her situation with the Red Moon and stuff. This is I'll wait till the end to tell you about this, which item this is, to see if you guys can guess it. When you think you have a good guess, pause the video, check the timestamp, put that timestamp in the comment section, and say what you think the item is. Here's a hint: it's an item you probably may not remember them actually having or even existing. So you just no one talk about the vestiges. It is not a vestige. But yeah, in the end, I will tell you. Now, this would be a point for Orem, too, but except there's also the likelihood that their death would permanently cut off any access to these groups. For Orem, it is unlikely because they'll still want to have. He was sent there on a mission for the Ashar, and they'll still want to have it completed. And I feel like they'd be more likely to try to keep in contact with them to honor Orem more. So that's enough. On the other hand, Fern's parents, Ollie and Birdie Calloway, and her Faye and her haggy grandmother are Fae, creatures of severe impulse. They've exact promise they would be much more aggrieved, feel much more aggrieved, being more closely related, and be more likely to impulsively cut the ties, or worse, actively seek revenge for failing in their promise. These are these are some very chaotic entities we're dealing with. And Fern they'd be a little bit of trouble, but mainly because they wouldn't want to hurt him. A higher hag, that is a serious enemy to deal with. So it'd be more risk. It'd probably be still more risk not to provide Fern. And lastly, I told you I did some polls and that very few people did. But I think all the answers I respond to, for one reason or another, list Fern as the one they would revive. She's the more popular character because she does more fun antics. Now, structurally wise, as though Orem would be maybe worse because he's the stablest of. I think he's is definitely the stablest of Bell's Hells. So that would be a big gap, like losing that one salt anchor point. Okay, two. And at least some of the people who in the poll listed Fern being potentially able to then revivify Orem as part of the reasoning for choosing her. Let's see. Anything? For me, all this evidence was enough to say, though, that Fern should probably be the one to be revived. If they can only save one, save her. One thing, it'd be also more of a interesting, most of the thing, like having now them lose their one stable character. Also, it'd be interesting to see what new acts it gets in. They would be introduced because Liam is a master of them at doing them, and let's see. Now, before I go on and tell you about the item, there's another possible outcome, which they all, and if this happens, it could potentially lead to all of them surviving. In matter of fact, if it happens, they most likely would all survive. It involves, if this is an implementation of a very famous trope, it's all a dream. Like basically saying that none of this actually happened. It's like a shared hallucination. And there's some meta evidence for this. Them having this type of encounter which almost can kill all of them so soon. This seems uncharacteristic of Matt, who is a pretty decent, who is considered one of the best DMs out there. But granted, just having character is lost even multiple isn't a sign of you're a bad DM if you play it right. However, However, we're all dealing with psychic powers, though, and it also explained how she was soaking up so much damage. I think she was soaking up a lot of damage, but also doing stuff. Granted, I think she's listed as a Psi Knight, basically Psychic Knight, not an Echo Knight as we thought with the shadows. Which some people point out, is probably being created by a device, which explains that it why that it's even surpassing the Echo Knight's 18th ability to have two shadows in play when she was having three. Like even so, she may not be as high level as we first thought, though. So that might be something that they just had a very bad day. But yeah, it is still possible. The theme is psychic. A shared hallucination would not be out of the realm of possibility. The one big evidence against this, though, would be the fact that they were seeming to be able to damage her, and she was starting to get closer, maybe halfway down to health and stuff. Like fairly, she was like, I don't forget what they actually describe her, and if she, and so the fact that they have to say do any damage at all is could be indicating that it's real. Though it could also mean not being tricky and trying to really disguise it well. Like they've dealt with something that's not real before in Campaign 1. Before the infamous goldfish incident, they battled a smoke creature on behalf of Pike's trickfoot relatives, but then it was discovered that it was just one of them casting an illusion, and the only time they ever seemed to actually damage it was when looking, but it was when one of them actually could see that when the caster could actually see them hit it. When he didn't actually see them hit a blow, it didn't have any reaction. Now hers could be more advanced, and she could be letting it do it so as not to give away that this is not real. In which case, all the damage they've taken, unless it's all just gets translated in second damage, is non-existent. And they'll all including the supposed deceased, just wake up when after some set thing. It is not out of the realm of possibility. How likely it is, I'll let you guys determine. Oh, another bit of evidence for why it could be all a dream. When they got Treshy out, it was with the help of an attack which was instigated by Artana, though, the bounty hunter, who they would now seemingly teamed up with during midway when she was trying to get Treshy out of the cell, and it helped her get out. And they end up putting him in their portable hole, and she turned invisible stuff. They don't see her, but she would naturally want to stay. Would want to stay in contact with them because they have her bounty. She would not easily give it up, I think. And she was so she would, even if there's no, she'd stick around. She was completely not part of this fight. No presence of scene. Excuse me. The fact that Matt would leave out this character who would have a good reason to join in and stuff, and actually help create a more balanced encounter could be the fact that it's all a dream and the person casting wasn't aware of her presence. Though it's not like a foolproof evidence, because it could be she just heard of Otan and knew they don't stand a chance against her and just chose to give up the bounty staying out of the fight. Honestly, though, I feel like it is definitely this be a more likely reason why she was not part of it. Like she demonstrated a subclass feature which is referred to 7 levels, so she's at least at the same character level as the players. Another one of them could really have turned the tide. I myself thinking like I keep like a character sheet for myself free and Ninja as a player character. They're just for fun, and I could saw, and yeah, doing some kind of relations head, which I will no means claim were accurate, will probably are accurate. It seems like it could have actually turned the tide, especially with more clever decisions. If my character was in there, there would have been one hell of an epic scene, or that failing that, we'll finish the fight with one comedic plan. I might tell you about that in a future video. Anyway, but her absence does indicate that this could be all illusion. That's all the things I have to discuss, except for now to tell you which item I was talking about that could help them with imaging. The item is, hang on. It would be Corota's helmet. You remember Corota, the Mind Flayer? They were. Oh my god, that is a scary picture. Yeah, but Corota's helmet was a makeshift helmet which kept him disconnected from the elder brain, the hive mind of his illithid colony, which he did out of necessity after he noticed that Kavan had taken control of their elder brain and did not want to be influenced by it. If this could shield psychic abilities and stuff, protect you from psychic abilities to manipulate you, they could use it to on Imogen to protect her from that Bloody Moon's effects. Last known owner was Vaxeldon, but I'm pretty sure that I doubt he was carrying it on him because it doesn't actually have any true magical properties. Which also a good thing because no attunement, they could just add it without sacrificing anything. I'm going to assume this is just sitting somewhere in the vaults at Whitestone as a memento, or like on a display set. This could be the most critical item to the campaign, as the rudeness theme seems to be the main overarching theme of the campaign. And with a close second being what Delilah is up to. Now, it should the last presence indicate an attempt to revive. Oh my, Vecna! How did I forget that name? It still could potentially be a less threat than a potential 2 lost gods, antagonist gods, which seems to be an indication of what could be on Ruidus and behind that. Though my personal theory is that Well, there's a theory going out that one of the lost gods is Sarador, who another draconic god who's also god of psychic. Now he's not described as an evil deity apparently, but he's not the only deity he's missing. And it could be the other deity was locked up mainly to protect themselves because he absorbed or assumed and possessed, basically forcibly combined with Sariador, or whatever the name is, the prismatic dragon. That's the dragon's name, title. So, and, and a combination of two gods as an antagonist would certainly be far greater than upstart super lich that is Vecna. Even if he does have godhood now, you combine two DD for that trumps Vecna. So anyway, I do thank you for joining me. I hope you found this very interesting. Please comment your thoughts. If you figured out I was talking about the helmet. But anyway, this is Freenair Rionencha, half of a YouTuber. I wish thee good fortune on the quest of life.